is no doubt that in CUB's world, TV has been an incredible asset. It has been fundamental as a medium to building affinity with brands in the hearts and minds of consumers. But as we sit here today, everything that we've traditionally touched over, decades of marketing at CUB is being challenged.
Advertising has moved from being a disruption industry, which is what it was built on. So we have to be a lot more lateral. We have to put a lot more creativity and strategic thinking into what we do now, as opposed to just bombard people. And it's not like consumers don't want to enjoy good advertising. We see it every day. I mean, sometimes the best advertising is more popular than scripted content on TV. And it can become iconic. Brands are built and destroyed by advertising.
Well, we're competing against so much amazing content out there, and I think, it's one thing getting attention, it's another one sort of keeping attention, captivating people, and you really need to cut through. And I think if you're not entertaining, then you risk being, utterly ignored, basically. I think more than ever now we're trying to do TV commercials that really, just a big, rich, multi-layered experiences that tell great stories, very compelling, provocative ideas that mean something to people, stuff that really you want to see over and again. These spots need to work in 100 different countries, and obviously across all these different countries there's different sensibilities, different taste levels, different senses of humour. So I think these multi-layered spots, there's something within that people can identify with, as opposed to just doing a one gag commercial. I think when we did Write the Future, it was a big learning experience for us. I mean, we wanted to jam-pack that thing with it. Every moment just needed to be just another beat, another beat. The results for Nike were incredible. It was the most recalled brand during the World Cup that year, despite not being a sponsor.
The VB renaissance is incredible. For a brand that was in a decade of decline, we've seen 3 quarters of growth. Now, that was off the back of some great campaigns, broadcast through TV. So we had 3 ads that we ran for VB, Hand, Sweat and Shirt, and each of those went back to the same jingle, run for 33 odd years. Back this year, bigger and better than it ever has been. We have spontaneous recognition numbers of 80% on the ad, which are incredible in our industry. And Carlton Draft's the other one. It's the only regular beer in Australia that's had 10 years of consecutive growth. We invested heavily in the production of Slow-Mo and the beer chase. You've got to think about it as a piece of film, a piece of content that first engages and then talks about your brand proposition. And TV has been the way that we've delivered that to our punter.
The big brands aren't going to television because they have sort of a love and desire just to be sort of, loyal to television. It's still a go-to, sincere and quantifiable to a large degree medium. So you take a brand like Coke Zero, which is a new client for ours, and that's very much a mass market type of brand. So you have to have a presence on television for that. So right from the get-go, when we won that business, we knew that we had to produce big television commercials. But we didn't just stop there. We sort of wanted to create television that would create dialogue in all mediums and could create a point of view or a platform that we can apply to anything. I think that's the holy grail for advertisers, is you create a platform that works incredibly well in storytelling medium like television, but can it be authentic when you're just writing something on the social media side, or you're doing a billboard, or you're doing a sponsorship.
There's obviously a need, for an international campaign to have TV at its centre. That is still the stuff that all the markets pick up. And it's the unifying thought we have. With Heineken, we do these big sort of inspirational spots, but then we blow it out and amplify it in social. It's like pouring liquid down a mountain and you don't know where it's going to go. But obviously, all of our clients anyway, who are all global clients, understand the power of television and that there is a definitive return on investment on what they put into it.
So television still ranks as our number 1 spend item from a media perspective, but there's a bit of bravery required, I think, from marketers to chase the unknown a little bit. There's a commercial reality of being able to bank a result, but equally there's a boldness and a creativeness required to, go the next level. And when you're able to do that, that's when the real magic happens.
We're all moved by, the alchemy of great visuals and storytelling and, sound and all. When it's done well, it's amazing. And it's hard to compete with that, looking at a screen here or reading a pithy tweet, and people try and strive for that lightning in a bottle. And when it does strike, the ramifications and impacts bigger than anything.
So I think that's what's different now, and advertising has a life way beyond perhaps its initial airing. So I think spots that have that power to cut through, if you can make it big and spectacular and meaningful and obviously right for the brand, hopefully it gets talked about and pushed on, and at that point it's off into the universe and we see where it goes.